Chris Salmon, Practical Musicianship for 3C2 Musicality 386, Learning Outcome number 2. I'm going to be doing a presentation on the musicality and stuff of the meshuggah song Straws Pull at Random, for which I have a handout of the structure of the song, which I'm going to tweak.
Richard's doing some work, so.
Take one and pass it all. Save time. So I have the sheet music and tabs for the song up on the board. And I'm going to play along with the bits of the song that I can physically play without breaking my arms. So I'll give you an idea of what it sounds like, and then I'll talk about it more in depth. Set up.
15 of them. Section.
So that was the kind of long-term bits of that song that I can play because there's a lot to remember. So what that was like structurally is there's no real verses or chorus to it, but there's kind of repeating sections that come back as a sort of reprise during the song. So we start off with an intro which lasts for 16 bars. We move on to section 1. Then halfway through that section we have the second section, which is something that never happens again in the song at all. Then we go back into section 1 for 20 bars. Then we move on to section 3, which I believe is 8 bars long, and revolves around sort of chromatic notes, so it goes 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. Then we go to section 4, which is another thing that only exists once in the entire song, and that I believe lasts for 16 bars.
Can you show us on there the chromatic section, is that possible?
The chromatic section.
What does it mean by chromatic, Chris?
All of the notes, they're kind of semitones apart rather than taking from any form of diatonic scale.
Cool, brilliant.
So yeah, this is the chromatic section I was talking about.
Cool.
So that bit happens, like I say, for I believe 16 bars. Then, like I say, there's section 4, which never appears again in the entire song, which leads back into that same section for the same length of time. And then we have a kind of bridgy bit, which goes on for 16 bars, I believe, which is a series of open notes to the first fret and then up to the third fret. Then we have sort of the final section in terms of what the rhythm guitars are playing, which is the only real chord progression of the track, and it sort of uses atonal arpeggios to create a musical progression. So it starts off with an F-rooted arpeggio, which is E flat down to D, then to F. Then we've got an A root arpeggio, which or an A flat root arpeggio, which starts on a G, then goes down to an E, and then down to an A flat, and then a G root arpeggio, G flat root, sorry, which starts on a D, goes down to F flat, and then G flat, and that creates the idea of musical chord progression, but whilst using atonal ideas and sort of semitones to help create an uneasy tension about it. Sort of harmonically, like I said, there's that bit which is the only progression. But then in the intro, which I'll play quickly, there's a minor second harmony between the rhythm and the lead guitar. As you can see there, we've got the octave of the F, and then we've got the F sharp, and they make this noise. Which again just makes it feel more uneasy and in your face, as opposed to just having both guitars playing the octaves. And then after the bridge bit, which I was just talking about, there's a clean kind of bridge, where one of the guitars breaks off to play the same thing an octave higher, with a clean tone to help add space and airiness. And then there's the solo, which I don't believe has a specific scale. I think it is just more chromaticism to try and, well, I believe it's half chromaticism and half whole, half scale, to try and add an element of jazz to it, but at the same time keep it uncomfortable and metal. And then there's the outro, which is the same as the clean bridge. And then we have finished with a sustained chord, which just brings out to its natural conclusion. The instruments in the song, for the bulk of it, it's 2 distorted guitars, a distorted bass, and the drums, with the vocals appearing in section 1, section 3, and I believe that's it. And then at the end of the song, when it gets the clean breakdowns and stuff, there's a clean guitar, a distorted guitar, a clean bass and drums, and then in the solo they overdub 2 more electric guitars playing lead to thicken up the tone and give that kind of phase sound. So rhythmically in this song, they use a combination of polyrhythms, which is where you have 2 different time signatures, but the bars take up the same amount of space. So, say for instance, if you had like 2 straight half notes and then 3 triplet half notes over the top, that creates a polyrhythm which makes the listener feel uneasy because it's creating rhythms that don't belong within music. And it also uses one of those polymeters, which is where you have a bar of 4/4 and possibly a bar of 5/4, and the first 4 beats will be exactly the same, and then there'll be 1 extra on the 5/4, so the 4/4 will start from the second beat on itself if you're taking it by the 5. So with a 5/4 against 4/4 polymeter, it would take 5 bars of 4/4 or 4 bars of 5/4 to revolve back around to the beginning. And they use a combination of these 2 things, and this technique is known as metric dissonance, which it's all in 4/4, but it feels like it's in a strange time signature because they keep moving over the beat. There is speculation of other time signatures, like they do 4 bars of 25/4 and then a bar of 16/8 or something, but it's all just straight 4/4, no on beats. And texturally, it's quite thick and full for the most part of the song because they've got driving rhythm guitars pushing it along. But when it gets to the clean breakdown, the rhythm guitar goes from being stereo to being mono, and it's got the clean arpeggios over the top of it, and then the solo. So that adds, it's sort of still quite a thick texture, but it adds a lot of room and airiness for the instruments to breathe in so that they get more distinction between the notes. And that, I believe, is all I have. Does anyone have any questions?
Will you be putting the original song on your Mahara page?
Oh, no.
Brilliant, okay. Can you just quickly show us, you've given out a handout of the structure, can you be able to just show us on the projector your handout of the or hold up a piece of paper to the, hold up the one you've given me to the, so I can use it as evidence? That'd be great, young man. And then does anyone have any questions once I've done this? Oh, hang on. There we go, brilliant. Does anyone have any questions for Chris regarding this meshuggah song? Okay, Scott's got a question.
Did you write the entire song out on Logic? Did you play the whole song out so that you could play onto it?
No, I found a tab on ultimateguitar.com, but I've seen this song performed live and I've watched videos of it, and I've tweaked anything that wasn't right. So I kind of took what somebody else had already done and I made it 100% correct. So.
Brilliant.
Anyone else?
So you know a song when you're correcting the intent.
Oh, that's very good. Very good. Okay, I'm just trying to think of any questions. You talked about intervals between, when you talk about the F and the F sharp, current distance interval. I think it's very good, to be honest. If there's anything else we can add onto another video, we can do, but I think that's brilliant. Can everyone give a round of applause for Chris, please?